We are now just 6 months away from the official release of Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker by director J.J. Abrams that is all set and ready to end the sequel trilogy and the Skywalker saga itself. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. So what's really exciting about this film is, of course, the interactions between both Rey and Kylo Ren in this story, and exactly what's going to happen to both of these two different characters. Now, we do know that J.J. Abrams confirmed over at Star Wars Celebration that these two characters are going to be very different in comparison to how they were used in both The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. So that really does leave a lot of fans mind-boggled as to exactly what JJ has planned, what tricks he has up his sleeve right now for these two characters in this movie. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the set leaks, this is where things begin to get very intense for Episode 9. Now, specifically, it's described that one of the scenes that were filmed during the month of January of this year involved a sequence that was filmed between Hamill, Ridley, Driver, and even the use of unused footage of Carrie Fisher. It's described to be a scene that takes place in the third act, where Adam Driver was instructed to act as if he was unconscious, where Rey was holding him in her arms, where Mark Hamill was standing in the background in front of a green screen. At one point, it's said that Mark Hamill shot a scene in which he was placing his hands on Kylo's head and then on his chest, using some kind of new force power, which could be a big hint and or indication of the resurrection aspect of Star Wars coming into play. It's described that the unused footage of General Leia was also used for the scene where they used clips of her shedding a tear or two to match it up with the footage of Adam Driver as Kylo Ren unconscious, where Luke's Force Ghost is trying to help him as Daisy was holding him in her arms, crying. It said that John Williams recorded a very emotional track in mid-June for the scene that is best described as a tearjerker. The sequence itself is based on an animated Disney movie from the 1990s, though it's unclear as to which film it will be. So let's go over a couple of parts about this. Now, we do know that this movie is going to be very emotional. It's going to have a lot of those types of moments in this film, and this definitely reaches the top of the list here and is a big hint of Kylo Ren's death in Episode 9. Now, do I think that the character physically is going to die and is just going to perish forever? Not exactly. We do know that resurrection is going to be used in a certain way in Episode 9. We're just not quite sure exactly who it's going to be used on or it's going to be used for. Now, this definitely does sound like Luke Skywalker is using some kind of resurrection power through the netherworld of the Force, trying to bring back Kylo Ren. So from what it seems, what's happening here is that yes, we are going to get the death of Kylo Ren from what it actually looks like, of all the things that are really coming together right now, and then we're going to get a rebirth of Ben Solo, coming back as a good man again. It's somewhat very similar, and this definitely does match directly up with the whole entire plan by Disney and Lucasfilm to base the scene off of a popular Disney movie from the 1990s. Most likely, it's going to be Beauty and the Beast. In Beauty and the Beast, we have the Beast who dies and comes back as a handsome man. In this scenario, from what it seems, Kylo Ren dies as a dark side user or something somewhere in between, and comes back as Ben Solo as a good man before he turned to the dark side, right? So that's, I think, probably the best way for Disney and Lucasfilm to really approach the character. That would be a reverse Return of the Jedi, if you will. It's kind of like imagining if Darth Vader died and came back to life again as a good man. Now, what I like about that is that this is really going to open up the possibility of the Skywalker saga continuing some decades into the future if they really wanted to do something like that. Now, the other thing is this, alright? Now, they're using unused footage of Carrie Fisher as General Leia Organa for the scene, taken directly from The Last Jedi and The Force Awakens, where they used scenes in which she was shedding a tear or two, most likely deleted scenes when she sensed Han Solo's death. That's going to be used in particular for this scene where she witnesses her own son knocked unconscious. Now, I think that they're trying to patch things together where we have everybody surrounding Kylo Ren, Luke Skywalker, Rey, and of course, Leia so far. Now, this sounds like a very emotional scene between both Disney, Lucasfilm, JJ, Chris Terrio, George Lucas, everybody that put this together. They are really trying to focus on Kylo in this movie, after all. Now, we do know that the title of this movie, The Rise of Skywalker, has more than 3 different meanings, and a lot of people have been wondering on whether or not The Rise Rise of Skywalker could also fall directly in line with the resurrection use in this movie, where, you know, basically Kylo Ren dies as a Darksider and comes back as a Skywalker, you know, by name per se. You know, that's a great possibility as well. But all the hints and or indicators that are coming together of Kylo Ren's death being a thing in this film, I'm not quite sure how I really feel about it. I'm not quite sure if, you know, fans would react in a negative way. If it does in fact end up Kylo Ren just dying permanently and not coming back at all through Resurrection, we'll have to wait and see exactly how it's going to play on the big screen. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Gun in hand, we are alone again. No hiding on one. From night to moon, we hear them moans again.